All right, so this is a good what if, man. Good one from Unknown Majin saying, Unknown Mystic saying. I think your name's Gohan, man. So, that's a good question. What if Hasbro bought Power Rangers from Disney and Saban's wasn't involved? How would that play out? Well, personally, is a big thing of we don't know. We don't actually know. That's the thing. It's like we don't freaking know. Since we don't know, it gets to the thing of where it's like, so we don't know, and streaming is not exactly like definite at this point. But I'm pretty sure that Hasbro most likely would jump the line and put Power Rangers on Netflix eventually. It's like very, very sooner than it did now, which is instead of 2022, you might have saw it actually get put on Netflix in 2012. I mean, I'm just going by the idea of being like, well, let's see. Daredevil started on Netflix. It was 2012. Actually, sorry, not 2012. Yeah, that was like 2014, 15. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that they most likely would have figured out to put it on something. It's like, yeah, you'll put it on something. I don't know. It could be the interesting part of where maybe they have a good idea of Nickelodeon, you know? It's like, yeah, so Nickelodeon could actually, if they had a deal with Nickelodeon is, they can go with their deal, man. It's like, I'm pretty sure Hasbro has a good freaking game to the point of where it's like, even though we don't see for sure that they have good gaming skills of where it's like, we want 40 to 42 episodes a year and no muss, no fuss, no fighting. That's all we want. It's like, yeah, there you go. It's like, yeah, so there you go. That works perfectly fine. That'll be great. Now, the idea of what would they do material-wise, I would say they might follow the current. Maybe. I'm pretty sure when it comes to Power Ranger Samurai, it wouldn't be as crappy as it is. No offense, but it's true. It's pretty much crappy. If anything, I bet they might phone it in. Just phone it home and be like, okay, what we're gonna do. Fuck it, man. Just adapt the Japanese version and put it in an American version. That's all. Just got to take all the Japanese content and put it in a freaking damn TV show. It's like, well, we're going to name it Power Ranger Samurai. Okay, cool. There we go. It's like Power Ranger Samurai Strike, whatever. And it's like, yeah, there we go. We're good. I think the best thing that could happen here is that, even though, let me remember, did the G.I. Joe figures suck? I don't think they suck. So that means that when it came to Bandai, it's like, oh yeah, wait, hold on, freak, hold on. That's the messed up issue here. I guess technically Bandai would give up too because they wanted to give up. They really do. They wanted to give up. So since they wanted to give up, that means that, yeah, they'll kindly give it over because the previous one was just a lackluster display. I mean, they tried to like Power Rangers again. They tried, and it was some success, but many other failures. You know, it's like the blemishes that they had, like, oh, you got to get the metallic one to actually get the right belting correct, or the Gold Ranger for Zeo, it kind of has some freaking issues, and they didn't paint the back of freaking Trent, and it just gets to the mess of the part where it's like there's so much stuff, and we're not going to even get to the TV series. We're not going to get into that. It's like, hey, at least they attempted that one as soon as they actually got themselves better. It's like, yeah, as soon as Dino Charge came in, that's when the freaking figures were better. But beforehand, they were like, let's give them 4 inchers. I don't think anyone would mind 4 inchers. It's like, what the frick? So at least when it comes to Hasbro, they wouldn't be that stupid. They'd be like, no. We'll keep it the same exact size, and we'll just keep going. Maybe do some new re-releases, and yeah. It's like, will they actually do like a Lightning collection of themselves, and now they're the ones who's doing Lightning collection instead of Bandai? And it's like, well, they kind of created that. I mean, they created Build-A-Figure, They had that. They had that, I think, ever since 2006, question mark. So it's like, they had that. They came up with the idea. How you gonna freaking see that their idea, they can't do their idea that they created, but you're just copying it? Of course they'll be able to do their idea. The Build a Megazord idea, and I don't think they would go with Build a Megazord. It's like, I don't know. It's like, they might actually just make their own Legacy collection, because it didn't happen in this one, in this scenario. So that's most likely it. It's that they will continue on with Power Rangers. Pretty sure we would get everything every single year, hopefully. Maybe they'll find someone else to do it, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, they found someone else. Excuse me. It's like, maybe they will actually try. Well, at this point, Vortex was trying to be ready for Power Rangers, and well, everyone decided to suck, did not support them. But it's kind of like it crumbled on its own, because you guys decided to go cheap the next 2 years. That's why it crumbled and failed. And it's like, yeah, but let's say that if by some weird, because Hasbro, no matter what, still has, in quotations, control of Power Rangers. He's every now and again most likely nearby. So that means that even in 2010, they bought it. That means that technically Hasbro will still be a part of it, which means that maybe, just maybe, Vortex would actually happen. So yeah, maybe Vortex will happen, but it's like, yeah, but I guess technically they'll give it to CW4Kids. I mean, they could do it. I would hope they can, because CW4Kids did have Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. And it's like, yeah, so if they're able to actually give, hold on one second. Yeah, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight ended and then they didn't. So it's like, I'm pretty sure Power Rangers could have went to CW4Kids. And if so, then, hey, even better when they took notice and be like, hey dudes, these guys who did Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, they're pretty damn good. It's like, okay, well, we got some freaking riders. Grab them. And it's like, yeah, and the Kamen Rider series, it did some good stuff. Except sadly, sadly at this point, Bandai would still be doing some messed up crap, though. That's the messed up part. Bandai would still be a part of Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. So that means, yes, we get crappy ass toys. It's either A, they'll get crappy ass toys still, or B, it's like, A, crappy ass toys because it reminds them of Power Rangers, or B, they'll actually do better. They actually will give us a lot of them because they don't have to deal with Power Rangers anymore. They have just Kamen Rider. And it's like, well, that works. That works perfect. And then if you have Hasbro, which I'm pretty sure Hasbro can't team up with Bandai America. Of course, that's like laughable. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to take that from you too, man. And if we actually can get started with the whole thing, then holy frick. I mean, the only messed up part is like, we can't do Decade. It's like, yeah, it's like they have to skip 2 episodes of Shinkinger, sadly, because Decade was in them. And it's like, yeah, they can't do Decade series because that would be a lot of explanation, just like how Power Rangers Super Mega Force brought lots of Super Sentai people, and we're like, who the fuck are you? What the hell's Bring More Powers? Oh man. Yeah, but we have a chance to not only that, because, well, it'll be on Hasbro's radar where they're like, oh, Address Entertainment. Oh, sorry, Address Entertainment. It's like, and then they would actually help fund them to do more Kamen Rider stuff. And heck, they might even have like in talks to do Power Rangers too. So it's like, instead, Hasbro will be the toy company and Address Entertainment might actually be the ones who are writing everything. Just like how we have Entertainment One, which of course, if you note, if we're talking about right now, the writers that they have right now have been inherited. You know, they've been inherited thanks to Jaime Saban's and his second attempt. It's like, yeah, and we now have Cat Lady, Algent, and it's like MT is kind of okay, Wolfgang is kind of okay, Johnny Hartman's kind of okay. So it's like, yeah, but the 2 that actually have the full power, they need to be stopped and kicked the fuck out. Okay, so that means that in this version, Address Entertainment will have full reigns of this. So Hasbro gets to what he wanted. They get to be the toy company that actually does the toys, and Address Entertainment gets to be put up on a higher pedestal than it did previously, which means instead of being a footnote and in 2013 died, they are a rising star, baby. They're a rising star. They have Power Rangers. They have Kamen Rider. Holy shit. They have both of them. Hey. I mean, that's a better scenario than what we got right now. It's a better scenario. Yeah. See, anything else? I think that's basically it. The only other option is that they try to do something brand spanking new. And I'm like, well, they were trying to bring something brand spanking new previously, like, you know, at 2019, 2020 date. I say 2020 date, they were like, oh, we're going to do a cinematic and we're going to make a brand new one. And we have Power Rangers being new Power Rangers taking Mighty Morphin, and they can go back and forth in time. And we're going to make our own series with our own Rangers that has no basis out of Super Sentai at all. And it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, so all this talk and nothing really occurred, and I don't know if I would be interested in it at all. I would look, but I don't know if I would be truly interested. So yeah, there we go. What about Hyperforce? Would that even exist? That's a good question. I think you get to the point of where it's like, and not to mention, it's like, yeah, CW for kids. The only reason why they were hanging on by a thread, you know, Disney stole Spider-Man from them. Like, yeah, but it's like, if they have Yu-Gi-Oh!, which that was another one, and they have Digimon Fusion, but the main event is Power Rangers, and they have Power Rangers, then that means that they won't crumble. And if they do crumble, then it's like, well, then Jaime Sabans will take it from here. Instead of Toonzai, it'll basically just be turned into Vortex. It's like, yeah, now he has a full hand in it. It's like, who knows? Maybe he'll even go to he did buy 4 kids. So it's like, yeah, so technically we can even go to the point of where it's like in 2010, 2011, he buys 4 kids and he transforms it into Vortex like that. And it's like, well, there you go. Vortex is now here in 2011 instead of 2013, 2014. I think 2012. It's like, let me try to remember. Yeah, 2012. So it's like, yeah, so he'll have it like a little bit earlier. And this time he'll have, sadly, all the other ones, but hey, he'll have Yu-Gi-Oh! He maybe will try to keep Digimon Fusion, and Digimon can continue on instead of just being nothing but it's like, so how did Digimon Fusion end, by the way? It's like, yeah, it's like, well, there's 3 seasons, man. So, and now they have a new one called Ghost Chasers, and heck, they have a freaking reboot of the original series. So it's like, there's so many things that he could do. There's so much stuff he could do, but main is Power Rangers, and I'm pretty sure they'll even be crazy enough to be like, oh, Hyperforce, man, we know what to do with that. And it's like, yeah, you can be on YouTube. Yeah, good for you. But all we're going to do is get animators and everything, and we're going to actually show it on screen. It's like, yeah, like some kind of event that happens. Might even come on summer. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they just have it on summer. It's like, yeah, so summer event, they already have them. They bring them to the whatever, and they have animators, and it's like, yeah, so it's like Hyperforce will have its own thing. Heck, Hyperforce might even have like a season 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. It's like, yeah, Hyperforce might actually be like even more hyped than it is right now, which is kind of a little bit of a whisper, but it would be loud and clear. But in the end of the day, we don't know. I don't know exactly what would happen because Hasbro's a wild card. They got inherited writers, you know? They got inherited everything. So if it was Disney's case that they are inherited from, I'm pretty sure already they would have corrected it no matter what and have it at 8 o'clock. Heck, I think technically Saban's already knew too. It's like, yeah, we're not going to have it at noon. No, we're going to have it at 8 o'clock, man. It's like, that's what he did for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, 8 o'clock. And it's like, yeah, he knows. He knows. So it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Hasbro would be able to do that. Would they team up with Nickelodeon? I kind of doubt it. I mean, would be cool, but we don't know how their strategy game is going on. We have to see what happens with Netflix if they're able to do one full season of 40 episodes on Netflix, like one for 1 year. So it's like now they're popping it out like it used to be. It's like pop, 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 pop. Yeah, it's like, but how would they do? It's like if they actually do it like straight from the pages, then Shinginger's fine, but there'll be like some kind of controversy being like, oh, well, you can't have an all Asian cast, man. And it's like, yeah, well, it's accurate. That's how it goes, jerk. Like, that's how it goes, jerk. Ghost Sagers, that's going to be a freaking issue too, because we're dealing with angels, demons, technically devil, and a somewhat god. So it's like, yeah, that's going to be an issue, but it's like, hey, if you do what I say, you'll be fine. It's like, yeah, you can just make it like nonchalantly. You could do that. Ghost Kaijers would be done right. They already did Go Busters, so we already know what Go Busters will freaking play out. Tokuger, we don't know what they're gonna do with that one. It's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't freaking know. But it's like going down the line, I think if they're okay with what's going on, which this is again, they just inherited like a decade before. So it's like, yeah, inherited a decade before. It's like, I think they might follow the current, maybe. But in this case, it's like, I think it's like, they bought it for some reason. I'm pretty sure they'll be like, oh, it's a full running engine. Everyone's still watching it. It's like, everyone's still watching it. Everyone actually is like, if no one's still watching it, it would have been canceled years ago. So it's like, yeah, so they'll just continue on with what's going on. And they'll get a maybe competent team of writers. Maybe. But of course, I'm pretty sure that it will just maybe go 2 to 2 together, where it's like, yeah, they looked at Kamen Rider Dragonite, they see the writers, they just might want to actually supply the toys like they do now, and there we go. As for new stuff, if they actually just crazy enough to be like, oh, we're going to do new stuff, we don't care about the old stuff anymore, we're just going to do new stuff, it's like, I doubt that would maybe be an option. That would be like most likely a decade later. So you kind of can say how Hasbro might actually jumped to where they want to do it, but they're going back on it now, to where right now, I mean, in the 2010s, if they bought it, they most likely would 10 years later be like, oh, we can do one ourselves. Yeah, they might actually have like competence to be like, oh, we're going to do one ourselves. And it's like, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Chum on. But still, I like this version of it. It's like, yeah, if Hasbro bought it and they continued on with it and they just didn't care, it's like they care, but they didn't care to actually be innovative. They're like, oh, we'll just copy and paste from Super Sentai. It's either that, and then Address Entertainment comes and be like, oh, okay, well, we have ideas, and hey, look at Kamen Rider Dragonite. We did good. It's like, we did freaking good on that one. It's like, yeah, y'all guys did freaking damn good. So Address Entertainment would be the masters of friggin' Power Rangers, and they would keep Kamen Rider, and they're doing 2 shows. That's freaking awesome. It's like, come on. Saban's did 2 shows. Power Rangers Big Bad Beetleborgs, VR Troopers and Power Rangers and Crack Crider. It's like, yeah, you remember Crack Crider, right? Yeah, that's a horrible show, right? Crack Crider. Oh, don't forget about Power Rangers and Misty Knights of Tilda Nog. It's like, yeah, we don't know who owns that one. Who knows? Maybe Hasbro could bring that back too. Anyways, there you go, man. Hope you enjoyed this What If.